Let's talk about Sweet Baby Inc. This is literally a topic that has been taking the internet by storm the last couple of days. If you've been on the internet, you've seen Sweet Baby Inc. come up. I was like, what the hell is a Sweet Baby Inc? Is this a website where you get like sugar babies or something? No, it's not. All right. This is a topic that's causing controversy in the gaming world right now. And I had to talk about it, even though I'm going to be honest. I'm a little afraid because this is super divisive right now. This has Gamergate levels of divisiveness right now. And I might burn some bridges talking about this topic. And if people don't like my take or whatever, I'm sorry. It's freedom of speech. It's the real world. That's how things work. I have every right to talk about what I want. But I wanted to talk about what Sweet Baby Inc. does. If you go to their website, it says they were founded in 2018 and that they're a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and that they work around the globe. Their mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video games industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. And you can see the buzzwords in that mission statement or whatever they're about me, whatever you want to call it. You see the buzzwords are definitely there. Narrative development, consultation, empathetic, diversifying, enriching, engaging, meaningful, inclusive, all that combines into a word salad that screams sensitivity coaching. They're a company that essentially goes to these development studios, looks at their games, looks at their characters, looks at their plot, and tells them this is not inclusive enough. They are essentially what Twitch tried to do not too long ago when they had the admin with the little antlers. Remember the reindeer mod that would ban people and they would just patrol Twitch and see who's sensitive enough to the community? That's what it is, guys. These are people that are going around making sure that there's a right amount of check marks in video games. Oh, this plot isn't diverse enough. These characters aren't people of color. This person is not a certain sexual orientation. That's exactly what they're doing when it comes down to it. Let's be honest here. And I guess people on the more conservative side of things would say they push the woke agenda, if you want to take it that far. So, yeah, they want to make games more diverse and tell better stories. But is that what people really want? Political agendas shoved into their video games? Well, if you're looking online right now, if you're looking on the world of Reddit and Twitter, you can see there are a lot of people upset about Sweet Baby Inc. And some of their reasons are actually pretty fair. I could see that if you were watching the channel about a year or so ago when the Hogwarts Legacy situation was happening, I gave my thoughts quite a bit on that because that was also a very divisive game. And yeah, let's be honest. Let's get this right out here, all right? Diversity and inclusion and telling good stories on paper, that sounds great. That sounds very swell. But when you take a look at certain things, and trust me, somebody made a video, Smash JT, they made a video about the same topic. They called it a hell of a rabbit hole. And I looked into other people's videos, some ordinary gamers. There was a few others where they go into this whole like huge 20-minute plus videos about some stuff that includes certain, I guess, lobbyists that are involved with Sweet Baby Inc. So they're benefiting from what are called ESGs, which stands for environmental, social, and governance investments. So there's people with capital, there's people with money behind Sweet Baby Inc. And they're from firms like Vanguard and BlackRock. And if you go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, there's a lot of things that deal with both of those companies, and I'm not going to get into detail of that. That's a whole other story. I could probably make a whole entire YouTube channel based off of conspiracy theories involving both of these. And there's a concern when it comes to big capitalist, like lobbyists, people investing stuff. They have narratives that they want promoted. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about both Vanguard and BlackRock, like I said, where they push certain political agendas and they're starting to inject it into our media, whether it's the news or the movies and video games. So it's not out of the realm of a possibility to think that Sweet Baby Inc., while on paper they're looking for inclusiveness and making games for everybody, there might be something deeper than that if you really want to take a glance at what's going on. So, yeah, and, injecting narratives that are considered woke or politics into games personally turns me off. It turns a lot of people off. And doing it for the sake of representation, just to do it rather than making a good game, like focusing on developing a good story, that's where it gets a little cringe, in my opinion. And I know some people, you think things are just woke. That's why it's called woke. You're injecting stuff. All right, that's exactly what it is. And it's not so much that the fact that they're doing this as a company, it's the fact that there's employees involved with Sweet Baby Inc. that are causing problems with what's going on. So there's one employee by the name of Kindred, and they got upset about a Steam group. There's a curator group on Steam called Sweet Baby Inc. Detected. And what this group does is they have a list of games that whenever they come out, if Sweet Baby Inc. is involved with the game, they make a note of it and kind of boycott it, right? They're a group that warns people about games that are associated with Sweet Baby Inc. And they didn't like that. They got upset. And, if they're harassing, if they're being extremely hateful, whatever you want to label it, if they're legit harassing people for buying the games and stuff like that, I can understand where you want people to report a group, like if it's hateful, stuff like that. However, isn't it funny when the shoe's on the other foot? Remember last year when Hogwarts Legacy came out, people like Sweet Baby Inc. that want diversity, that want inclusion, were livid about Hogwarts Legacy because of J.K. Rowling and her beliefs that she put out politically. They were livid. They were making groups calling for boycotts of this. There was Twitch streamers boycotting Twitch. There was even a website and an app made that would let you know if somebody played Hogwarts Legacy so you could cancel that streamer. And there was also video game channels on YouTube like Girlfriend Versus. They literally were in tears on their stream because they were being harassed for playing Hogwarts Legacy. So now Kindred and people from Sweet Baby Inc. are basically terrified of a Steam curator group called Sweet Baby Inc. Detector because the shoe's on the other foot. That's funny how it works, honestly. And that is so reminiscent of the whole Gamergate stuff from over a decade ago, how there's two very divisive groups. One side is rules for thee, but not for me. And when they get pushback from the anti-people, they don't like it. It's harassment. It's a pain in the butt. So that's the issue is Kindred is going on basically telling their platforms on Twitter and raising up the storm. You guys need to cancel this Steam curator group. Well, guess what? That backfired, honestly. That overreaction caused a Streisand effect. And that Steam group is now going viral and it's gaining thousands of subscribers as we speak and followers, and it's not being taken off of Steam. It's safe from Steam, actually. Steam has approved it, and it backfired. And that's what happens a lot of times when people call for cancel culture. It's always a good, healthy sign of where society is at, in my opinion. Just like with Hogwarts Legacy, how that game didn't get canceled. And it goes both ways. Let's be honest. People were boycotting Call of Duty when the Nick Merck situation happened, myself included, the limited run thing. Boycotts don't always 110% work. They don't. You just choose to talk with your wallet or not. And that's the thing about this Steam group is that Sweet Baby Inc. could have just shut up, be professional about it, and ignore it and let it do its own thing, and it would run its course, honestly. It'd probably run its course. But why would you want to try to prevent people from voicing their opinion and not using their wallets? There's two sides to every kind of product out there as far as consumers go. Let's say, for example, a TV show. There's a group of people that would like this show. Let's say it's a popular TV show with this group of people. They're all in on it, and then there's this group that decides to boycott that show for whatever reason. Do you think the TV production studio is going to say cancel this group on on Reddit because they hate this show, why would a group that's involved in the gaming industry want to cancel another group? It's freedom of speech. Just ignore it. And that's where the problem is, honestly. And that's where, like myself and others, we try to say this whole that there's a woke agenda, because there's an agenda when you're trying to control a narrative. That's the problem. If you just let the narratives be where people like it, people don't care, that's fine. That's what freedom of choice and speech and voting with your wallet and choosing to support something financially is about. But when you're trying to cancel a group, silence a group, deplatform a group, block, people from being able to create a group on Steam, that's where you're trying to control a narrative where you only want positive things about Sweet Baby Incorporated out there. And that's where I have a problem with it. And that's where a lot of people that are on the anti-side of Sweet Baby Inc. are right now. It's the whole trying to censor, trying to deplatform, right? It was a big overreaction on their behalf. Now, there's also another employee by the name of Felix. Their Twitter name is literally @LegoButts, so I don't take anything that they would ever say serious. But apparently, they were complaining about this Steam group, saying that Steam doesn't have rules against groups that warn against Sweet Baby Inc. games, and that groups that warn against inclusiveness and diversity and things like that. But here's the issue with, this person. They work for Sweet Baby Inc. So there's a little bit of a conflict of interest right there. They, trying to reach Steam and say, hey, I want, more inclusive, groups, and take off this hate speech group and blah, blah. Oh, by the way, I work for this person. Like, you don't disclose that. Again, that's another proof of somebody that works for Sweet Baby Inc. trying to control a narrative. On top of that, Lego bots, apparently, and this was brought up on a few videos, including Smash JT's video, they have a history of making negative comments about white people, to use that phrase. They kind of talk about how white people are bad and all these weird, wacky things. It's like this whole rhetoric about white people, that you can't be racist against white people. And there was another example where there was a game where the whole cast was majority white in it, and they were French, but they wanted an individual to become a person of color just to diversify it. That's forcing something in. That's injecting stuff. Think of great games in the past that had diversity and nobody thought of it. Think about how many years games and TV and movies have been around for decades, right? And there was no diversity groups, narrative-driven groups that focus on inclusivity for all, right? All the great classics out there. Final Fantasy VII, for example. There's a cast that has people of all sorts of upbringings, colors, backgrounds, everything, just in the party of Final Fantasy. And they don't make it known that, Barrett's an African-American, a person of color. No, he's Barrett. Make characters that are good characters because of their personalities, their traits, their flaws, their weaknesses, not because of the color of their skin or their sexual orientation. That's forcing and injecting stuff. And Sweet Baby Inc. That's what they do. They'll go to a game, they'll look and see it, and they'll be like, nope, that guy's white. We need to change him because we need a person of color. We need this person to be gay. It's like that South Park thing. Make it lame and make her gay and lame, right? Was that the joke? I didn't even see it yet. So, yeah, okay, I get it. Sweet Baby Inc. wants to make games more diverse. And again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But when you have a lot of red flags with your recent actions, that's where the problem stems from. And that's where people are comparing it to Gamergate. Sure, it's kind of a different type of situation. But honestly, this Gamergate comparison didn't start happening until today, when a Kotaku article came out. And basically, Sweet Baby Inc. went on damage control to Kotaku. Kotaku made probably one of the most cringiest articles out there defending Sweet Baby Inc., saying that anybody that thinks that there's some kind of group that's driving a narrative and pushing kind of wokeness and stuff like that is a dumb white conservative, basically, to freestyle it. Basically, they downplayed the situation, calling anybody that's anti-Sweet Baby Inc. bigoted and that they don't care about diversity, and it's just shaming, right? And the reason why the Gamergate comparisons are getting compared there is because they're going to big media. They have people like BlackRock. They have people that are journalists helping promote this narrative of, hey, shut up those people. That Steam group is bad. They're not allowed to have their opinion. People aren't allowed to make a list of our games. And I'll be honest, a lot of the games that they've been involved with have been pretty decent. There's like God of War on there, to name a really good one. And then their most recent one was the biggest flop, Suicide Squad. They had hands on that. And I think combined with the failure of the Suicide Squad game and then these red flags right now, that's why it's gaining traction. But what really caused it to gain traction was one of their employees calling for the Steam group to get canceled. That was the biggest issue right there. That was their downfall. Honestly, that's where they should have just shut up, not tried to get anybody canceled. When you try to pitchfork and start a riot, you bet your damn ass people are going to be mad about that. What's that saying with physics? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If you attack, they're going to come back and attack you back. And I think the fact that that happened and it's going viral is what is making things worse for them at this time. And it's going to be bad. This is just the beginning. This is just the onset of it. If it gets worse than this, it's going to be wild completely. I think games should be about fun and entertainment. Yes, have great characters. Have characters of all sorts of variety. Have characters of all sorts of upbringings. But if they're not in your game, let's say you're a video game developer, you make a game, it's nobody else's place to try to inject their politics, their inclusiveness into your creation. I'm writing a fictional book right now. It's going to be a sci-fi book. I'm not even telling people when they read what color these characters are because I don't care. I just want to have a good story and good characters in my book, in my story. And that's how it should be with movies, TV, and video games. Let people create art. BlackRock, they have their narratives that they want to promote, which is why they're funding Sweet Baby Inc. Sweet Baby Inc. is claiming on paper one thing, but then when people are backlashing against it, they're trying to control the narrative. They want everything positive. They want it their way or nothing at all, and that's not how it should be. And I'm trying to be less abrasive because I know there's going to be people, no matter what, that are going to be upset about me in this. The issue isn't that Sweet Baby Inc. is a thing. The issue isn't that Sweet Baby Inc. consults and helps video games be more inclusive. That's not the issue. The issue is that they got mad about that Steam group. They tried to cancel it, and then they went on damage control with that article on Kotaku. That's the issue. And that's why it's gaining steam, and people are going and joining that group because of the Streisand effect. And they shouldn't have ever did that. So that's where I'm standing on it. Do not get it twisted. All right? What do you guys think about all of this? I honestly would love to hear this. Let's be nice to each other in the comments. Let's don't be dicks. Let's don't be jerks. Let's have some good discussion. I would really like to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. And if this is your first time coming here, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody on here. Some jerk off not too long ago made a video saying that I'm bad for the video game community because I don't believe in inclusion or diversity. Do you know what I do? I am an indie wrestler. There's people that are straight, bi, gay, trans, black, white, Asian, of all sorts of creativities and gimmicks and cultures melted into one pot to put on an entertainment show. I also have been interacting with YouTubers of all sorts of upbringings and colors as well. So I don't want people to think just because in the past I've complained about wokeness and the Hogwarts Legacy situation, how the people canceling it were ridiculous, because that's what I was complaining about. The people that were trying to cancel a video game about Harry Potter. All right? I'll just leave it there. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I didn't piss off some of you guys too much. I think I was pretty fair with this whole story and stuff like that. So thank you for watching.